Hey everybody, it's Bust with Busted Strategies number 41, jumping into another Innistrad Midnight Hunt Premier draft, and let's get to it. This has been like the most ridiculously insane run of shit tier luck I've had in quite a while. We had the big best of three weekend where we did good. We 6-0'd one and we 4-1 another one, so we were up 7 tokens. So we got basically 3 free drafts out of the matter, and the way that this has like turned itself into is like I don't out of those 7 runs after that. I've probably averaged like 1.5 wins, and like with the max wins being 3. It's been literal insanity. Like the perfect description was in like the previous video I was working on that I just threw away because I got too salty. It was like uh, I did the thing where we keep a 4 lander and then immediately draw um, like 3 out of the next 4 draws being land, having a really powerful deck and then just like completely out of the game. And then it happens again in the next game. Mulligan to 6, have to keep a 4 lander, and the opponent that we're playing finishes the game by having a board of 1 forest, 3 mountains, 1 swamp, 1 plains, Dawnheart Rejuvenator, and then they just drop Lisa. And it's like, oh, this is how today's going to be. You're playing Tovalar and Lisa in the same deck and casting them on curve. It was fucking insane. I was so pissed. It was ridiculous. But let's try to recover here. I'm reasonably happy enough to start out with Ludovic. There's no removal spells in this pack worth taking outside of play with fire, and I don't like to start with red. I do kind of feel like people are starting to pick up on red and green being open and available, but I don't think it's nearly as bad as it was in the previous week. And so I still like fully suspect that we'll table a Festival Crasher out of this pack, but there's nothing here that makes me really want to not draft Ludovic. He's not a premier unit. He's well above average, but these blue black like really loves these early game plays that can come in and stall out the board. And a reasonable enough set in the next pack. I'm liking the Falcon Abomination a little bit more than Fading Hope. We're looking at blue black as the cards here stand, and it's very easy to just pick up decent black removal. At the end of the day, we should be able to get like a Defense Straight and a Eaten Alive or something. And the Falcon Abomination just activates so many of the themes. And so happy to snatch him up. Okay, so this is where you have to come out here and start thinking. You got your Moonrager Slashes, your Fangblade Brigands, but here we're good to take a Defense Straight. Kind of eyeballing if anything of this will potentially come back. It isn't unreasonable to think we could get a bait hook angler out of this. I don't think it'll happen. I don't think we'll get anything back out of this pack, but it is nice that seeing like the blue black be hopefully kind of cut from this point forward. But this is kind of where we run into the problems of why I've been heavily advocating for just not drafting the Esper, but drafting 1 color of Esper and 1 color of not. And that looks to be like where we're starting to get into this draft. In the previous pick, there was very marginally playable blue card with Defense Straight. In this pack, there's no really playable blue or black cards. I mean, we'll play Arrogant Outlaws and Novice Occultists, but definitely not going to be excited about them. But we can take up Seize the Storm. There's a chance that we would even end up playing it in a blue-black deck, and so I'm not entirely opposed to taking it. Okay, well, reasonable bro here in the Ecstatic Awakener. We're getting the pieces together with the Falcon Abominations to make him work out quite well. And then the blue-black cards are back in appearance, and so it might have just been a bit of a low roll of a pack. And, ooh, Gift of a Blade Stitch Scab. That's pretty good. And we've also seen like 100 Geist Waves here, so I'm hoping we do manage to table a Geist Wave again. Pretty low chance of doing that, but the Scab is exactly on point with what we're looking for. These 2/3s are just so good. Like there's so many like Coven decks that just can't beat a 2/3. Then all of like the red-based aggro decks and a lot of the red-green decks just can't deal with a 3 toughness unit, and so very happy to get these added into the stack. Okay, Rotten Reunion's fine. Nothing that we're super excited about, but we're actually, I think I want to make sure we have a Jack-o'-lantern. We probably are going to play Seize the Storm, and let's make sure that we at least have a bit of mana fixing along the way. Okay, Take Novice Occultist. Probably won't play it, but if we end up with some sacrifice effects, we might want to. Looks like, was this a Festival Crasher pack? It didn't quite table here. Maybe it was the next pack, but Otherworldly Gaze, I don't like playing outside of... here was the Festival Crasher. I don't like playing the Gaze outside of Disturb decks, but, you know, we've got Ludovic, we've got Seize the Storm, we might look to do that. Here we'll take the Behemoth. We have some sacrifice themes already in the Occultist, so it might be okay. Not a huge fan of Bat Whisperer, but could work out. Add in the Stolen Vitality. Not crashing any festivals today, but that's, you know, exactly the kind of thing I'm talking about with these red cards running around. Is the pick 10 Festival Crasher, the pick 11 Stolen Vitality, and just really being able to get that deck together. It's not hard to do, and it's relatively powerful. Ooh, this is so telling, getting a 14th pick black card. Quite nice, quite nice. So, okay, how do we see this one? Definitely not storming any festivals today. And so our choices are looking like they're coming down to Crawl from the Cellar or the Digraph Horde. Let me get our cards kind of sorted a little better here. Still think we're playing Seize the Storm, so let's put Jack-o'-lantern in the play pile. Okay. Yeah, not bad. Lacking in removal, but looks good otherwise. And so, I mean, it's tough. I think out of like these cards, we're probably just, we may play Digraph Horde, but we're not really requiring it. I'm actually kind of looking to pick up something like Crawl from the Cellar just to ensure that we have one. It's like I would rather, the way our deck is kind of shaped up here, I would rather make sure we have a Crawl from the Cellar before we pick up like our third 5-drop. So we're starting to see a lot of expensive 5s continue to table. So with this one, there's a big old mythic green dude, but want to pick up the interactivity and the Revenge of the Drowned. Ideally, something like Larder Zombie would table out of this pack. It should play quite well with the cards we've managed to assemble here. But yeah, pretty good makings of a blue-black deck here. Not so much out of this pack, but Fading Hope is still fine. I like Fading Hope more than Geistwave. Tons and tons of red-green cycling through here. But I mean, if we found like a Terramorphic Expanse, we may not be opposed to playing like a Moonrager Slash or something. Probably won't want to, but the opportunities are there. Play Lunar Frenzy. You know, it's a thought, but I don't think we'll do that here. With this, I rarely find times where we need Firmament Sage. We tend to just have like enough stuff to do with our mana, and so I think we can look to let it go. And I'm looking to just pick up Gale Drifter here. The deck that we've assembled would like really up the quality of finding Larder Zombies, right? We have a few combos with them up to this point. We have the Ludovic, we have the Seize the Storm, we're picking up the Gale Drifter, we have Crawl from the Cellar. You could potentially call Jack-o'-lantern a combo with it, and then we have these kind of mild card advantage cards in our not playing pile. So we have some tools that we could definitely use for it. And actually pretty interesting pick here between the Evolving Wilds and the Ecstatic Awakener, because it's like how I still like want to play Seize the Storm, I want to play Jack-o'-lantern, but how heavy do we want to go on the mana fixing? And it's pretty tough to find it. I think I'm good to just pick up the Evolving Wilds. It's tough to pass on the Ecstatic Awakeners here, but we knew that we would just get one in the next pack. So you all didn't know that, but I knew it. I knew it was coming. It's perfect. Oh, there was a Larder Zombie in that pack as well. I got so amped up about that Awakener showing up, I skipped on the Zombie. That was a mispick there. I think we should have taken the Larder Zombie, but we'll still be okay. Slow it down just a half step, and then Geistwave is the only playable out of these. Picked up another Crawl from the Cellar. I don't think we ever really play 2, but it's potential. Reaper. Oh, cool. The zombie did table. Beautiful. Well, a different zombie tabled. Good Broodweaver. It's looking good. Yeah, we've got our 6 early game 2-drops, and so that's looking pretty decent. Our mid game looks okay. Got a handful of flyers. Our late game is fine. It's like I would rather have siege zombies than more crit behemoths, but it's not, it's not that big of a deal. Still happy with Seize the Storm. The only thing, it's like I'd like to pick up another good removal spell, like a Defense Straight or an Eaten Alive. Eaten Alive would be the kind of ideal one. And then, yeah, I think we look good. We have good like middling removal, as we call it, just stuff to throw, stall out the middle part of the game, buy us the time until we get our expensive guys down. And here's our Eaten Alive. Perfect. So, not anything I'm like really interested in tabling out of this. I'm just not a big fan of Vivisection. I mean, if we got a bait hook angler, I'd probably rather play the angler over the novice occultist, but Eaten Alive's looking pretty good here. Right. So, not much for us. I do have to remember to look towards red cards. Like, I'm not completely opposed to playing something like Ardent Elementalist, but I would want another Evolving Wilds before I went down that path. But here, we'll just take the Midnight Ambush. We're not playing Delver. We're not playing Vampire Interloper. This is the only option out of this one. So yeah, this one's like kind of odd. I mean, the things to take note of, we don't have any siege zombies, and we don't have any. Well, it's not that tough to not have scab wranglers, but the tap a bunch of zombies guys, we haven't really picked any of them up. But here I'll take the angler. I'm not going to play 2 Revenge of the Drowns, so I would like to add that in. I'd like one more like 4 or 5 drop here, and I think I'd be pretty happy with this. Falcon Abomination's a great addition. Looks like we're more of like a blue-black flyers deck as opposed to the zombies deck. Okay. Ooh, there's a gift and an organ hoarder. Beautiful. Okay, so I don't think we'll ever play 2 jack-o'-lanterns. I might want to play Dissipate. If we had like another sacrifice card, I would be kind of interested in these novice occultists, but let's have the 2 awakeners. It's like I'm probably not even going to play the one that we have. Okay, so do we need the more top end now that I looked to pick up a second Morkra Behemoth? I kind of wish we'd left that novice occultist in, because these are going to be our big game closers. But okay, it'll be all right. Oh, what a gift! What a gift and an 8th pick Falcon Abomination. Nice. So yeah, good things happening here. Good things happening here. It's definitely not a zombies deck. Well, I guess we do have the larder zombie to do some self-milling. We don't have the siege zombie, so I don't think we saw any in this draft. I'm not really upset about it, but pretty sure that's the way it rolled. Super late Shadow Beast sightings, but not what we're really trying to do here. I don't think we'll play this Vivisection. Not playing Devious Cover-Up. So we'll take the rare and get in our way right towards the end here. Maybe. Making the big decisions right at the end. So yeah, I mean, this has come together nicely. We're 31, 16 creatures. I mean, I'm looking to say, like, take out the Arrogant Outlaw. Doesn't seem like a necessity here. Might take out one of these cheaper cards, but probably not going to play any of Secrets of the Key, Vivisection, or the Gaze. But we can hang on to the key for just a moment. Candle Guide. I don't think we'll play Candle Guide, but I am kind of interested. Don't even like really need Seize the Storm, but it seems like it should be good here. Get out of here, Snarling Wolf. Are we at 16 creatures? And trying to see which of these creatures we would ever look to remove. I think we'd be fine. Like 16 is really like 17 here, since we're playing the Seize the Storm. Like I could see cutting out a Morkrit Behemoth, because we're mainly just focusing on the flyers here. Anyways, we're going to do most of our winning with these Falcon Abominations and the Gale Drifters, and then if we do something like Ludwig out a Falcon Abomination to make a big flyer. I don't think we're going to be doing too much with the Behemoths, but I do still like hanging on to Seize the Storm here. And I think I am kind of interested in doing this like Candle Guide, Jack-o'-lantern. We'll probably do one mountain. That would give us 3 sources of red since this is fairly slow. What if we look at it something like that? Add in a swamp for the moment. And then where does this get us? Cut out one more creature. It's like I'm leaning towards either. Well, we may not even need Component Collector in this deck, right? I mean, we have Ludwig, Bladestitch Scab, and 2 Ecstatic Awakeners. I think that could probably go. Now, let's split the creatures and the lands. Happy with our curve. The curve looks very good. Reasonable enough collection of bros. But just kind of looking at how big could we ever count on this Seize the Storm to be? Because we are playing like a handful of... Like, I'm curious if we're just like reading into this too much. Like, we could do something like Jack-o'-lantern, Candle Guide, Seize the Storm, come out, put the Behemoth back in. That's 14 creatures. If we wanted to play 15, we could go back to a Component Collector. I mean, that realistically just feels safer. Take out the mountain. Add in an island. I don't think... I think our deck is good enough to not need the... red card. Okay, I do like hanging onto Secrets of the Key. I think we can cut out 1 Craw from the cellar. And then the last card I feel like we're hanging on to here, it would be like Dissipate. Not opposed to playing it. The question kind of is like, do we have enough stuff to do to where we don't really need Secrets of the Key? But like, it plays so nicely with the likes of Larder Zombie and then really filling in our kind of not as good curves. Kind of going back to just taking out the Component Collector. But like one of the problems we're running into here is having enough like sacrifice stuff for these Awakeners and our Eaten Alive. We currently have the Occultist, the Baithook Angler. I guess we do have this big stack of Falcon Abominations. That makes me feel a little bit better about it. 15. Okay. Take out the Component Collector. I like it. Secrets of the Key. I keep seeing these 1-cost cards over here and thinking one of them is the Secrets from the Depths or whatever that Otherworldly Gaze. But, okay. I think that looks good. Move this up. I think we're pretty happy with this. Larger Zombie, 2 Awakeners, 4 2s, some flyers, some closers. Yeah, looks good. So let's get to it. Yeah, it's been brutal. Like, if you're one of the daily viewers, sorry we didn't put out a video yesterday. I got in a shitload of drafts, and it was just like so brutal. Just horrible drafts coming together, just ridiculous games. Like, I was just getting like way too salty all along the way, and I didn't feel comfortable releasing any of that. And so it was like I started working on videos today. Had an incredibly strong blue-black deck. It was so good. And then it was just like 2 of those games to where you start with 4, and so you have like 3 cards in your hand, and you end the game having played like 5 cards in total. Had to run into a dude with triple Duelcraft Trainer. Had to run into that dude with the Lisa. Like, it was getting pretty salty about it. But nonetheless, we're back into action here. Reasonable enough start. We got the 2/3/4, the mana to cast them. Seems good to me. Okay. Yeah, try to not to be like too salty about the resources in this game. It's just after playing games without the end deck resource system for so long, it's been it's been a struggle coming back to one where that happens. You just have games like this to where you feel so far out of it when the resources come together weird. But this is what it is. Interesting start. The the battle of the 04s. Well, we do get a continuation of the of the just draw lands kind of themes. It's not as bad when you have the advantage on board, but if opponent had a draw that didn't involve 3/0/4s, then this game where we've drawn 5 land and 1 card would feel much worse. Highlighting this Bereaved Survivor and then our Gale Drifter. What's your angle here? Okay. It's going to exile our Drifter, flip the Bereaved Survivor. Alright, not super ideal. At least it only counts as 1 mana in terms of Smoldering Eggs. So we're going to have to start dealing with Sarah Angels next turn. This is where we're going to start to fall behind. Need something to do fast. This costs 6 mana, quit highlighting it. You have 5 mana and played a land. You can't play it this turn. And Seize the Storm. Oh boy, this one's about to get away from us. This is where we can start bitching about drawing nothing but land. Oh, he puts his beloved beggar back on the board? Okay. That feels like a treat for us. Is that a requirement? Huh. Interesting. All right, well, we did our thing. We just drew more land, and so if opponent drew a land, we're dead. There's no way we're gonna beat the dragon off of the Smoldering Egg. We just need something to go right quickly. All right. Doesn't have anything in his graveyard. He's got to get this out of here. Also reasonably happy to get a scry in. But this is essentially a removal spell, right? He shouldn't. Well, I guess I shouldn't say he can't flip that, since he can he can most certainly play 7 mana worth of spells out of this out of the Seize the Storm, but let's try to get our aggro's in. Feels like he has a spell in his hand. Seems like he was kind of pondering playing something here and pondering playing something before the Smoldering Egg got bounced, but not quite sure what it would be if he's not playing it on Falcon Abomination. Unless it's just like a 2 or 3 damage burn spell or something. Making the big decisions. So yeah, I mean, it looks like we're gonna have to. Did he pick up a land? No, he didn't pick up a land yet. He just played the Smoldering Egg and started contemplating. Okay. You just got yourself a bunch of time, my man. About right. About right for the draw for the turn. That's about right. So Ludwig's not particularly interesting when we don't have a way to give him flying. Gotta worry about this a little bit. And he can only become a novice occultist for the moment. But I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go ahead and use the Ecstatic Awakener. See if we draw anything interesting here. No reason to attack with these ground-based units, right? We don't want him killing off his beloved beggars. Enters the battlefield or attacks, mill a card. Okay. Then you can exile X creature cards from your graveyard. Transform. And it has a mountain of text on the back set. This creature transforms into Ludwig's Hubris, becomes a copy of the thing that exiled, the 4/4 zombie. Okay, put +1/+1 counters on it. Okay. Well, let's at least mill. We can get the bait hook angler down, and then if he keeps attacking, we can potentially give Ludwig flying via the bait hook angler. But kind of want to see if anything interesting gets milled first. Nope. Okay, so yeah, I mean, if he attacks us again now, we can block with the bait hook angler and then try to give Ludwig flying. Violating that Seize the Storm like you drew another land. Touched on our Falcon Abomination for a bit. Feels like this is about to be a land. Oh, a Rite of Oblivion. Okay. That's pretty scary. Alright, so I mean, we have the Morkrit Behemoth to sacrifice off the bait hook angler, but we're a mana short of making the Ludwig a 5/5. Right? With him only being a 4/4, he's going to have real contest running into the Smoldering Dragon. Most assuredly gets a Smoldering Dragon next turn, but I guess the kind of other way to look at this is it's not unreasonable to think that he's going to play the flashback spell. I think we're fine to do this. The Behemoth, sacrifice a creature, bait hook angler. And also, before we get too far along into this, how do we feel about attacking with the Awoken Demon now that he's already got a dead dead thing? Oh no. Oh, we can't exile. Oh, we fucked this up. X can't be 0. Oh shit. Oh shit. That's not good. I thought you could do it for 0. I guess we should have read the card a little bit more. Oh, god damn it. Oh, that's so bad. Can we still get ourselves out of this? I would think that he's going to sacrifice off the Dauntless Avenger and kill off a more Crypt Behemoth, and then have the 2/4/4s on board. That's going to flip the Smoldering Egg into a dragon. I don't know if we'd be able to recover this one, but attacking with Ludovic like that's certainly not the way to do it. All right, because then he would have to, say, kill off our Ludovic to try and get through this. Yeah. Okay. All right, I'm just going to call it on this one. We were just way too far behind. I'm glad that we were in a game where we do 12 land. But, we're not going to recover from all the flashback cards that they have. Oh, brutal. My woes continue. Just lots and lots of that. Like I said, it doesn't feel that bad when you're still in it, when you draw 66% of the land in your deck before you're like a third of your way through it. But yeah, as soon as that corner turns, it starts to feel really bad. Right, reasonable enough keep. Sure. Good to just get the scab down. Turns the larger zombie into a scary dude. He has potential to attack as well. Alright, nothing to sacrifice to this Ecstatic Awakener. A little sad, but otherwise it's okay. Probably just, it's like I know we're kind of like lacking in things to do here, but I think this is good. But trying to tap my blue mana. Just get one of those big tempo plays. Tap out for some 5-mana unit that doesn't matter. Play your like Drown Yard Amalgam. we could manage that. Interesting. Kind of fine with all of this. So, I mean, he can take down our Ludovic. We have the choice, like, I think I kind of want to just Ecstatic Awakener this larder zombie. We're, like, really aggroing through this one hard. If he has, like, a Flare of Faith, this is going to kind of suck, but... Sure. Should have trouble dealing with this demon. I'm looking at just playing the Falcon Abomination, sacrificing off the Falcon Abomination to take down the Phantom Carriage. Then we still have the Scab on the board to potentially use next turn. Well, let's be real. We should just be sacrificing off the zombie token. All right, then our saving grace in this space is if he wants to add the Castigator to the board, he can't kill our Awoken Demon without a card from hand. He doesn't have the mana to Castigator and Silverbolt. Okay. This is the stressful moment where our deck doesn't have a it doesn't have a siege zombie in it. Okay. He's turned the corner in this one. I could easily see us just losing this game. Gets to start investigating when stuff dies. He's got the card draw potential out of the Gavany Dawnguard. This is gonna be problematic. One damage short. We need a bounce spell or an answer to a flyer. That's our way. That's our ticket to victory. We got anything? Some Falcon Abominations, Organ Hoarder is a bounce spell. Thought we had a zombie thing. He must have exiled it, right? No? Oh, it's just on the board. Okay. Makes sense. Okay, so I mean, I could see just pulling back the larder zombie so we have stuff to do. Just got to improve our card quality here. Ludovig's not going to do anything. I guess we could like get Ludovig and then copy Larder Zombie with him just to have a bigger one. But it's kind of slow. Okay. Let's see where we can find ourselves. Okay. Not good. Not good. We're playing Raised Deads to bring back larger zombies for the value plays. They're just drawing 3 cards. Pretty scary. This is only our graveyard, right? Your graveyard, okay. Boy, now he's got a... this one's just gonna be done. I'm really not seeing how we can get ourselves out of this. We gotta... fuck. Okay. Oh my goodness. What a ridiculous set of games. Maybe we'll be able to get a victory with this. Get down in the 2-loss bracket and maybe we can pull something off, but we did play that early game really aggressively. We could have stalled it out, but I mean, even if we stalled it out, he had like so much more card advantage than we did there. Like that's definitely not a set of cards I'd want to be playing a long game against. So I like how that panned out. It's a matter of whether or not we missed a point of damage somewhere, or I'm not. Nothing is immediately coming to mind in any turns that weren't just big blastings of damage, but this is what I've been running into so much here recently. It's been like so tilting. Just the the resource system coming to get us. Right. Gonna find an opponent. Just been playing straight through. There's been no disconnects. Have to play against the Poro bot. They said, let's find him a real good opponent that can just send him just straight off riding into the night with the Tilt Dragon. It's insane how poorly these past couple days have gone. Oh, have we found one? Okay, well, not a particularly strong hand, but I don't think we can mulligan this away. Prefer to have a 2-drop, but it is what it is. I do believe in one of my attempts to make a video. I got to play against a guy that he played turn 1, turn 2 Delver of Secrets. He missed on the first one, but he did manage to hit the spell on the second one. And then we had a bounce spell or something for one of them, and then he just immediately hit on the Delver again. Just perfect notation of how my games have been going over the past couple of days. I don't know how streamers do it. Like, if this was my job, I would be not really thrilled with how how life is going. But with this, I think we just have to get rid of our 5s. We're pretty far away from playing them. I think we're safe enough to be on the flyer plan here. Okay. And our only zombie usage thing as with the larder zombie. I think we should go ahead and get the damage in while we can. So it looks like we're going to need our Falcon Abominations to do the work here. Might want to hang on to this second one. That's what it's going to take for us to play Eaten Alive, but we hopefully have some time before this Delver flips. Okay. All right, then we're gonna Secrets of the Key and see if we can't investigate into a land. We got rid of the unit. Interesting. There's the flip. Interesting. The Shadow Beast sighting with no forest in sight. Brings back a Shady Traveler, sure. Right, so we have lots of answers to the stuff that he's doing. Questions is like, how fast do we need to get rid of it? I feel it's like we can bounce one. We will be bouncing the Delver of Secrets. We could Eaten Alive the Siege Zombie. It's just like, how bad is this if we play Organ Hoarder? An opponent has a removal spell. Like, are we dead? 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? Yeah, we'd be dead if he does have the removal. But we could also Organ Hoard into a land. I think this is okay. Let's Organ Hoard first and see what happens. Maybe we just don't want to attack with both of our creatures. Alright, that's interesting. Alright, let's go for it. He's got the removal spell, doesn't he? He's over here counting his cards. Uh-oh. Here comes. He's going to crawl from the cellar as Siege Zombie, and we're going to have the Eaten Alive for it. Problem here is we have to stop attacking. Well, maybe we don't. Yeah, sure, we just can't play the island. This is we have the Revenge of the Drowned. Like if he has a flyer, then we have the Revenge. Otherwise, I think we're fine. Whew, okay, I thought we were certainly headed straight into 0-3 territory with that one, but I forgot what it felt like to win a game. I honestly couldn't tell you. I guess we know now. It feels like I've had like a 10% win rate over the the past few drafts, and so wow, we got one. Okay, things have turned around with our one win. Let's see if we can't string off three or four more of those and salvage this thing. I feel pretty good if we could turn that around. Feel pretty good, pretty good. Are we gonna do this again? Are we gonna wait forever to? Let's see. We'll let it get up to a minute before I restart the game, but seems like the matches usually fill up instantly. But yeah, cool stuff. I mean, I've been looking at the upcoming release schedule. The second half of the set comes out about 3 weeks from now. Pretty excited for that. Try to do some preview type things for limited. I don't feel like I'll be going the full route with that, but it's tough if you aren't like kind of in the inner circle in terms of Wizards good graces. Like I'm sure like the likes of LSV gets the full set list, a week or two in advance. It gets to compile all of their things, but for the most normal folks, you don't get the full list until they usually put out that what's it called, the judge's spoiler or whatever it is. So we'll see. Nonetheless, reasonable start here. We got our defensive 2 and 2 flyers. But, I mean, we ran into that problem in Runeterra as well. Got us mulligan to 5, I think. In terms of... I'd be talking to the LOR Guardian guys, and they'd say they used to get the spoilers like a week or so out, and then Riot just kept dropping it down and down. I think they said they got it a day in advance, and then I'm not sure if they even still get it. It seems like Riot was pretty intent on just giving like the Mobilytics guys all of the preview stuff, which I get. It makes sense. Like Mobilytics, has like 250,000 followers on Twitter, and they have the big League of Legends app. It makes sense in those terms, but kind of sucks for the little guy. But nonetheless, back into this one. Turns out our zombies are big, and we're doing zombie things here. Opponent doesn't seem to have a draw that can interact with this too favorably. Seems like we're just crashing on through here against their mulligan to 5. Pretty powerful little zombie draw we've assembled here. Okay, no blocks. You got me. Whoa, the aggression. Interesting. This is suspect to the highest degree. Not real sure why you would ever attack with the Awakener here. I guess it's never blocking, but... Alright. So, I mean, do we attack with our Scab? If he wants to, say, double block our Scab, take the 3 from the zombie token, then he'll fall to 5, which is a little unfortunate. So let's attack with our non-Scab units. Keep our blue mana here. If we pick up an unsummon, we'll want to play it. Nope, not the case, but the defense straight should be good. They get to tap in their stuff weird. Good chance we just end the game. This Ecstatic Awakener decides to attack again. Okay. See if we can't just end it. But this, if he spends the mana to flip the Ecstatic Awakener, then we should just win the game. A little bit short, but this should be pretty tough to recover from. All right, 2 in a row. Taking him down like a boss. Oh, we got to get back into the numeric mythics. It feels bad being down in the percentages. I get it. We've said that it's okay, but I'm still pretty happy with our first month back to Magic, getting up into Diamond, and then in our second month, carrying it up into Mythic. So hopefully, once we get a few more months under our belts, we'll be making realistic end of season runs here. Okay, reasonable enough start with the Awakener and the Ludwig. Mountain. Mountain, calling it. Forest, that's close. That was close. Okay. Mill the crop from the cellar. Not bad. Ludwig is not a zombie. So you gotta flipping for those zombie treats. I think I'm cool with like if he wants to block with the beloved Vegger, just sacrificing Ludwig and taking the stuff down. Like Ludwig's not doing anything here anytime soon. So pick up that value. Surprised he didn't just block with the beloved beggar. I'm not real sure what that angle means. Right, because you typically just want it in your graveyard. So I'm surprised he traded off the Candlegrove Witch. But it's adding swamps to the mix now. There's a little Asban number. So I wonder if this is like white, black, splash green, or something along those lines. Okay. We have plenty of time and plenty of means to deal with the Sarah Angel. It's not super intimidating here. Okay. He's down to 1 card. So, I mean, we're looking pretty good here. He's going to get to start utilizing this Gavany Trapper, but we're ahead in cards in hand. We're at parity or ahead on board. I think this is looking good. Started to highlight his Sarah Angel back there. No, thank you. Do not want the land. So let's see. I mean, do we want to crawl from the cellar back Ludwig just to turn our Falcon Abomination into a 3/3? Not opposed to it. But then it's like from that point forward, our Ludwig's not that great, and it kind of forces us to be spending our Eaten Alive on the beggar as opposed to being able to dissipate it. But I don't think we're going to be able to just dissipate anytime soon. I guess we could next turn if we draw a appropriate land, but what do we think about attacking and just seeing what happens? I think I like this. Like, let's just get an attack in. If he trades, then fine. We can return the Falcon Abomination, or it gives us a good target for Ludwig. Oh, I mean, I'm kind of interested in giving the Larder Zombie the stats. But it's okay. Got it. Oh, thank you. I would love to draw Organ Hoarder here. We'd rather have the Midnight Ambush. I mean, it might just be like a -2/-2. Kind of looking at Revenge of the Drowned. Has more potential to be a forever removal, I think. party captain. Pretty good draw in this space. I haven't had haven't had the means to just sit on this dissipate. A little unfortunate, but not the biggest of deals. So yeah, let's go ahead and get this stuff going. I'm looking to bring back Ludwig, put a counter on our Organ Hoarder. It's cool. You can tap something. I'm all right with that. Okay, cool. And now we still have the we have the zombie in our graveyard, or I guess the bait hook angler now that we can remove with Ludwig to give him the 4/4 flying. Would like to find ourselves in a space to where we can just keep this dissipate mana up. That's something that Ludwig lets us do as well. So I think I'm okay with that. He's probably going to tap something here. I'm okay with trading Organ Hoarder for both of his dudes. This is fine. Okay. We do have the mana to activate Ludwig this time. So if he wants to double block, we can go for it. Oh no, can you only do this when you can do a sorcery? Oh shit. when will I learn my lesson to come out here and read the card? Fine. we've gotten burned on the not reading this thing twice. So okay. I think that's fine. We still got a spell out of him. Wow. Top notch plays from FTP Buster today. Okay. We're finally in the space to where we can play a dissipate. Feels good. Feels good, man. Okay, you can have that one. Okay. Still happy enough to trade off the Organ Hoarder for the two party captains. He gets a 3/3 out of the Unruly Mob this way, but I'm okay. That's fine. I think I really want to just keep up the dissipate mana while we can. So it should be pretty obvious that we're up to some amount of shenanigans since we aren't playing Gale Drifters, but feels good. Feels like we're getting somewhere. Let's do the zombie first. Take that action. Okay, and this way we get to keep using the larder zombie. We get to keep our dissipate up. So this is as good as that's going to get. Got him. All right. Rattled off 3 in a row. Feels good. Feels good. I forgot what 3 in a row felt like. uh, I'll pull it. I can't remember if I pulled up the untap.gg earlier. I had to take a break in here and eat a sandwich and stuff, but uh, I'll definitely show it at the recap. It is bad. It is bad. I was feeling so good. It's like we are so far ahead, and after that high roller weekend, that it's been so brutal just to lose it all over the past 7 or 8 drafts. Something's going on here. Okay, back at it. Yeah, this is apparently the server went down or something. It's cool. You like you click on the server status and it says all is well, everything is okay across all of the various options. But then if you go pull up Twitch and look at the look at the people streaming, and no one can log in. I wonder I wonder what's more accurate there, the evidence from Twitch or the evidence from the server status page. Nonetheless, we're back in action. We got ourselves an opponent. Let's get at it. What we got? I mean, that's a reasonable enough curve. It's a little scary on the play. If we don't draw a third land, this falls off pretty hard, but I think it's fine. We'll give it a risk. A lot of payoff if this goes right. Add the scab. Definitely going to be the best option if we don't hit our land next turn. And are we willing to trade an Ecstatic Awakener for a Graphkeeper? I don't think I'm quite ready for that. I want to get some of this sacrificable stuff down on the board. We'll drop Novice Occultist. Then just kind of wait and see. Eaten Alive Exiles as well, so we might find a juicy Disturb target with the Graphkeeper if we wanted, but I'd rather wait and see what kind of shenanigans dude might be up to first. Candle Trap is not very impressive shenanigans here. Okay and okay. Don't think I want to spend the Eaten Alive here just yet. We have some great targets for the likes of Eaten Alive, and we can just sacrifice off the scab, or even if we just leave the scab on the board for a while, he's giving us some pretty decent value here. So interesting. Opponent doesn't play any cards though. I'll take the bait. Not really afraid of getting hit by a Nebelgast Intruder. This is where he drops a Revenge of the Drowned on us. Okay. Works for me. All right, so again, I mean, it would feel to me like a bounce spell, but let's see. I mean, maybe his plan is just to tap our Awoken Demon, which is fine. Like if he taps our Awoken Demon, we flip the Awakener, and then he bounces it. We still get to draw a bunch of cards. Stormrider Spirit. Okay. Definitely not intimidated by that. I don't think we want a Fading Hope this turn. We do have ourselves in this kind of interesting position here as to where if he gets really aggressive, we can Eaten Alive and Fading Hope in the same turn to remove all of his blockers. Okay. Let's see how wild one can get. Not too wild, apparently. Not too wild. He put a Coven Castaway into his graveyard. So what's going to happen here? We can play a removal spell on the Phantom Carriage, and then he's going to tap Awoken Demon, and then we can get in for one attack that he can kind of block but doesn't have good blocks. I'm okay with this. Yep. And bring in the double. That's what would make sense. Okay. I think we want the Midnight Ambush. We can make some pretty easy usage out of it. The problem is if we're going to potentially shuffle it away here. We'll see what they play. I'm more interested in playing Dissipate on the Castigator than on the Graphkeeper. So if he replays the Graphkeeper, I'm kind of okay with it. No new targets. Oh, he doesn't have the blue mana to do that. Okay. Doesn't have the blue mana to play the Castigator. Interesting. Dissipate might just win the game here. I'm not sure what his angle is. I mean, if it's another like Flash Bird or whatever that thing is called, then we just win. I feel like there's a lot of just wins that come out of whatever his angle is. Very greedy Scabler Angler attack. Cool. Water is empty. Life never fails to be so hard. We got up to 4. Okay, round 5. On to it. Okay, well, reasonable enough start. Nothing really super powerful about this one, but it can be a keeper. I think I played this guy earlier. In one of these games where our deck was just not cooperating. Okay. Block. All right, the four lander was reasonable to us this time. We didn't have to draw a whole bunch of land in a row. that's all I could look at this hand and think was like, oh no, this is gonna be one of these 4-landers that just doesn't work. You just draw a whole bunch of lands, but we got 2 cards, no complaints. Okay. Not a whole lot going on here. A little bit of something. I was hoping we'd pick up a creature, so if things stalled, we could at least just sit around and use the larder zombie, but okay. And do the post-combat ambush, so we can't just come out here and replay it. Our health is healthy. Taking the 3 is not that big of a deal. I don't like this attack. He's got all this mana up. there's a lot of ways for this to just go poorly. Yeah. Don't like that either. No blocks. Don't really like the prospects of running a Morka Behemoth into 3 mana. Like, if he has a flip the switch, we just never win this game. If he has a flip the switch on our Behemoth, and so let's give it a little bit more time here. Maybe we can try and bait something out. He's highlighting his dude in the back, and so that would be a reasonable target, his 4-cost unit. But doesn't seem like he's buying into it. But I mean, he's not really sending any aggression our way, so that's at least a positive going for us here. Curious what his hand looks like. I mean, it looks like he's just like intentionally not playing the dude in the back and keeping up counterspell mana. I mean, it could be something along the lines of a Nebelgast Intruder, but nobody cares about these units. Could be a loyal Griff, but I think they would have gotten the Griff on the board to start attacking with. All right, well, we still got time to dawdle around here. We did draw a second Behemoth, so we could have been a little bit more aggressive with it, but I mean, it just reeks of us getting blown out. Like, if he has a flip the switch and then gets to follow up with a big play, like, just have no way back out of this. All right, or you can just draw up to 8 land, and that's that's another way to get out of it. Pretty sure that auto passed on us as well. It just doesn't have anything, it seems. Still fine with that sequencing. Like, they have lots of opportunities to just blow us out big if they hit with the if they have like a tempo, like if we play a Behemoth and they just have like a bounce spell and then they follow up with a unit. Like, a lot of ways for those things to go bad. But with them cycling the startle, it's kind of interesting in what they could be positioning themselves with here. Okay. This is going to be a tough board to race. Okay. Alrighty, so we got a blocker in the air now, which could be extremely important as we try to chunk in the race damages here. You know, assume he's going to say like add Luminous Phantom and still swing with all of his birds. Ooh, that's good. That's good. Could have gained a couple more points of health here. Sure. He's gonna make so many birds. We're gonna get seriously punished for not countering the roost and then instead countering the unit. I think we're just too far behind at this point. We'll see. I mean, we got 17 on board, and so there's definitely a world where we can potentially lethal next turn. I mean, I assume with him flashing back this dude in the back and having a Sif Brick Sifters already out, probably can't do it. Like our behemoths have menace, so they need two blockers put on them. But if we could get our Organ Hoarder through, then we might have a chance. So he's going to hit us for 5, take us to 4. Yeah. Oh, damn. Saw him coming in with the sifters. So I think that's where we're at. We're just gonna have to draw a removal spell here. We have about 1,000,000 mana, so we can afford to pay for the Chapel Shieldgeists, but we gotta draw a spell. The 2 health wouldn't be saving us. Oh, and a Lunarch Veteran. We're just dead. How would this look if we did block? If we did try to play into this, we would have fallen to 4. Still probably dead. Does Crawl from the Cellar do nothing? Okay. And so yeah, I mean that was a tough beat with the roost. Like I knew that he had the handful of dudes on board, but it just felt like with the way that they played that game, with them passing for like 1,000,000 turns in a row and then then having to play the startle, that they just didn't have anything to do. And I felt like the loots were going to be better than getting the units off of the roost, but that's not the way that it particularly turned out there. But it was kind of interesting as well in terms of like how would that have played out if we just ran the Morkut Behemoth out. And I still think that worked out okay in terms of trying to get the Dissipate mana. If we ever have a turn where, like, we play the we play the Behemoth and then they're like Candle Trap or Bounce Spell, or if they actually had the counter spell there, if they're able to make like any kind of tempo play into us, then we're just like so incredibly far behind. Like if they didn't have the counter spell, even if they just had, say, Geist Wave, whatever, the 2 mana bounce spell, and so we play the Behemoth, they bounce it immediately. We not only have to replay it, we need another card to sacrifice to it, and then on their turn they add the 4 mana flyer. We were just like so super far behind, and so I think that game plan piece of it worked out. I think the mistake we made was misjudging how many birds he was going to get out of that. Get out of the ominous roost. I think we could have outraced him without the birds, and we could have been fine with him drawing cards, but close. So yeah, let's at least get this pulled up. We'll talk about it a little bit more. Okay, and so yeah, these limited events were painful. Like I forget. I think like the 6-3 was the first one we did after it says it's 4 days ago. That must have been too far in the past. But I know that we ended with like 7 tokens. And maybe I just drafted on that day and didn't record it or something. But um, it's just like these drafts were so bad in terms of the way they went. We got a 4-3, 2-3, 0-2, 1-2, 3-3, 1-3, 4-3. I think I might have had a draft in here that I just like drafted and quit. Maybe that's why it turned out that those were the seven. But I mean, that's a total of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 wins, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 18 losses. Like that is such a ridiculous way to to follow up those wonderful decks we had in the high roller events, and some of these things were just completely ridiculous as well. Like I know there's like a lot of Boros and black red in here, but like, this was like a mono blue draft where we just ended up landing on Root Coil Creeper and Ren and 7 in pack 3. It was dumb. Like these four decks weren't that good. This was one where it was like we started with Arlen, took a red card, and then followed up with the red green spell that gives you trample and makes it night and draws cards. And I had like a pack 1 and pack 2 that had Festival Crashers in it, so I knew we could assemble this deck to where it was like um, actual red green festival crashers, kind of like werewolves thing. Everything in those terms came together, but it was like the first three picks were like towards werewolves, and then I swear there was like 6 picks in a row where there were no red or green cards until like the festival crashers came back out of the first pack. Like it was absolute insanity. I had never seen such an underdrafted collection of Esper cards, and it had to have been the draft where we started off with Arlen. Like it was fucking bonkers. And then these decks up here were dumb. This blue black one was one of the best blue black decks I've ever seen in my life, and managed to 1-3 it. It just had a weird collection of just drawing uh, super low rolls on not being able to play cards. I played a dude with like triple dualcraft trainer that we just couldn't answer. The like real nail in the coffin that summed all of that up was played against a guy that on turn 3 played Tolvalar, the red green version, the rare version, and then on like turn 6, with having 3 mountains on the board, played Lisa. And that was a really choice match for you to be able to play your red green rare on turn 3 and follow it up with your double white black rare on turn 6. And I was like, oh, this is fucking dumb. But nonetheless, it's surprising how much this 4 winner has really lifted my spirits, and I'm glad to be getting back out there again. And so yeah, this deck, I mean, it was okay. I feel like it was short of being a 7 win deck, but I think if we hadn't punted with Ludovic like 100 times, and then those first 2 games were just completely brutal in terms of mana, I think if this was less of a low roll, we could have taken this to like 5 or 6, but this doesn't really feel like a 7 win deck, and so it feels pretty standard in terms of the deck that we assembled. This leans itself more towards like the kind of ideals of blue black flyers, more so than it does any kind of zombie deck, especially when we're out here with the likes of the two or the Bloodstitch Scab, and then him comboing up into the Falcon Abominations. But this was again a deck where we only have one Larder Zombie. If memory serves, we should have actually had 2, but it turned out okay. We just had the one, but then we didn't have any of the other kind of like big zombie cards, and so I think this is more of kind of like a blue black flyers than a zombies deck. And in those terms, we're just kind of stalling out the early game until we can kill off with flyers. Your standard kind of blue black control style deck. And it came together reasonably well. Our removal was good, our curve was good, our creatures were good. I feel like we just had a couple of close games, and then we had a couple of games that weren't even games of Magic. Just whatever. What did we have? I think in the first game we drew 12 land, and then the next one we had the 4 land start where we draw 3 land in a row. Those are just not actual games of Magic. But nonetheless, I think the draft was kind of interesting. I think this turned out okay. I think we managed this draft pretty well. I still think Ludovic is a strong first pick out of this one. We aren't missing out on much. There's no real cards to take note of other than there being good red cards that will probably wheel. I feel like the Festival Crashers wheeled out of this one No, it didn't. Interesting. So there were actually the two red cards taken between the Crashers and the Play with Fire. But nonetheless, I still think Ludovic is the pick here. I do prefer to start monocolored, but I think he is compellingly strong enough compared to the likes of Morning Patrol and Morkid Behemoth that we just have to come in and take him. I can't bring myself to take Loyal Griff over Ludovic. Pack 2, following up with the big zombie man with the Falcon Abomination feels pretty decent. I think this is a pretty standard pick. In a world where we may even wheel something like a Behemoth or a Bat Whisperer, I think that pack turned out reasonable for us. Wheeled the Behemoth, and then into pick 3, highly incentivized to draft blue-black from this point forward, picking up the defense trait. So we have a flyer, a really high-quality early game unit, and a removal spell. Just all around pretty great start. Seize the Storm. We thought about it. We didn't seize the Storm today, but we didn't really miss out on anything otherwise. And then at this stage, there's no green or white cards that we feel like we're really missing out on. So I think that was fine. Ecstatic Awakener still feels good. I don't like taking Geist Waves this early, and so the Awakener is fine. Candlegrove Witch or the Vengeful Strangler is just too aggressive for this style of deck, and so happy enough to pass on that one. A Gift in the Scab, and then Jack-o'-lantern, sure, we were considering playing the red card. Pretty straightforward in standard pack 1. I thought this might have been the one that had super late Shadow Beast sighting in it, but it turns out that wasn't the case. Then as far as these packs go, again, I thought this was okay. We didn't have the real big zombie build-arounds to want to pick up the Digraph Horde. We already had Morkid Behemoth, so I felt good taking the Crawl from the Cellar. Revenge of the Drowned is the only interactivity here. Probably wheel Locked in the Cemetery. The Larder Zombie wheeled out of that. That's even better. But I don't think there were too many big strange decisions in here. I was trying to see if there were any packs that looked like we were just completely out of place or like we completely missed something, and I don't think we did. I think this looked pretty reasonable. The Voldaren Ambushers running around forever, but this pack we could have done something differently, but we did look to play the red card. I think in terms of us considering playing 3 colors, the Evolving Wilds is good, but I wouldn't fault you for taking a Geist Wave or Ecstatic Awakener here. We ended up with plenty of them though. Here, I think I wanted the zombie over the Awakener. I can't remember if it was that exact one, but yeah, pretty straightforward draft. Not too much in the ways of strange and wild picks here. And it's kind of like, I think in terms of these, like I feel okay starting with like Ludovic, because like what I feel and what I can't really wrap my head around in these is like maybe there's one, say like pick 5 here, where the Ecstatic Awakener's fine, but there's things like Candlegrove Witch. It's this Candlegrove Witch problem that I have a really tough time with here. Like pick 5 is probably about where they belong, like a pick 5 or 6 or 7, just kind of the tail end of the initial pack. But I never can like pull the trigger on just like switching into Candlegrove Witches. I always need so like to want to play white, I always want like the good uncommons, like the Dualcraft Trainers or the Farmhand or the thing that the white 3/3 that draws cards with Ward. Like I'm always needing those to show up, and I can never like start with Candlegrove Witch. And I think I'm still pretty okay in those terms. Like this isn't the deck to where I would have ever wanted to switch. I didn't want to switch into blue-white flyers or anything. I think blue-black was definitely the place to be for us, but that's kind of one of the things that weirds me out. It's like I know I've seen a lot of decks where it's like these Candlegrove Witches will be rolling like pick 10 and pick 11. And we should have probably just like switched, and we just don't do it. And so that'll be something to take note of in the future. But yeah, this draft not too challenging to make our way through. So yeah, I believe that's going to do it for us for the day. Got a handful of packs to click on here. We're getting pretty close to being done with this set in terms of packs, not in terms of playing it, but let's see what we get here, and then we'll call it a day. All right, a Mythic and some gems. Called the shot, nailed it. Nailed those gems. More gems. And the last one. Gems. Cool. And so that is going to do it for us today. I hope everyone enjoyed the draft. You maybe learned how to take to the skies a little bit better. Maybe learned a thing or two along the way and had a good time watching. This is Bust, and we thank you for being here.